Yeah, no, I'm just playing. Yo, what's up, YouTube? It's your boy Legend. I'm back with another video. Now, before we even get into this, I'm gonna say I changed just a tiny little bit of stuff. Um, Mainly because I really forgot like all the multipliers for like the Super Saiyans and stuff like that. I forgot what the multipliers were. I knew like Super Saiyan was like a 50 times base multiplier and so on. But like after like Super Saiyan 2, I forgot what the multipliers were. So I just changed it to what would kind of seem like would make sense, if you catch my drift. But other than that, it kind of takes on a more of a future Trunks timeline event. So yeah, just enjoy the one shot. And sorry I haven't been uploading. I really have not been feeling all that well. To be honest, I don't think that I've been recovering correctly. Like I've been feeling like shit for the past week, and I just have not been feeling well at all. Like I don't even feel all that good right now, but I still gotta drop the content for you guys, and I still gotta sound charismatic. So without further ado, let's get into the intro so we can start this one shot.
Yeah, I put out all this art, it's my only medicine, yeah. Everything I do, I'm just being genuine, yeah. I'm sick of being screwed, feel my own adrenaline, yeah. I do just what I do, and I hope you let me in, yeah. I'm grateful, oh yeah.
Have you forgotten your pride? We are Saiyans, the mightiest warriors in the universe. I can still remember the day that we first sent you to this planet as an infant. We had high hopes for you then. Why have you not carried out your mission? Tell me.
Who the hell are you? You don't know who I am. I am the elder sister of the great Prince Vegeta, the last of the pure-blooded Saiyans. I demand that you show proper respect, or else I will make you regret it. Oh, you know Vegeta too? Yeah, he's training with Goku on Beerus's planet. So, you know who he is, yet you still do not recognize me. Very well then. Let's see how you like this. Celery launches a Ki Blast at Legend. Legend takes the Ki Blast head on without a single scratch. Celery is surprised that the attack did not affect Legend at all, but she quickly regained her composure. Very well then. I'm surprised you took that hit so easily. It's time for something stronger. Celery launches another Ki Blast at Legend, this one much more powerful. You know, you're kinda weak. Are you sure you're a Saiyan? Celery's expression darkened. Weak? I am one of the last pure-blooded Saiyans, and you call me weak? I will show you what real power is. Celery launches another Ki Blast at Legend, this one even more powerful than the last one. Legend just simply slaps the Ki Blast away as if it were nothing. Celery is stunned that I was able to just slap it away like it was nothing. This is not possible. No one has ever been able to withstand my attacks. How can you do that? You're weak. Weak? I am one of the last pure-blooded Saiyans, a member of the elite. How dare you call me weak? Celery's expression darkens again, and she launches another Ki Blast at Legend, this one even more powerful than the last one. And once again, the Ki Blast is slapped away. Celery is even more shocked that Legend was able to just slap her attacks away. Yeah, and to her that they were just extremely powerful. That's impossible. No one should be able to withstand my attacks, let alone just casually slap them away like they were nothing. I don't even know if I should fight back. Celery's expression darkened even more and her voice became louder and more aggressive. You dare not fight me! I am one of the elite Saiyans, a member of the royal family. I am far superior to you in strength and power, so you should show me respect and fight me. Do you even know what Super Saiyan is? Celery's expression changes from anger to surprise. Super Saiyan? Is that some sort of legend that you believe exists? Because I can assure you, it does not. I am one of the strongest Saiyans ever to live, and I have never even seen anyone transform into this so-called Super Saiyan before. Oh my god, you really are weak. You can't even go Super Saiyan. Celery's eyes narrow, and she becomes even more angry. You dare call me weak and say I cannot go Super Saiyan? I'll have you know that I can transform into a Super Saiyan just as well as any other Saiyan. I am not weak, and I will not tolerate such disrespect from someone as inferior as you. Yeah, raising your power level by 10% isn't going Super Saiyan at all. You're just boosting your base form a little bit. Celery's anger reaches its boiling point. You dare tell me that increasing my power level by 10% does not make me a Super Saiyan? I can assure you that it is not as easy as you make it sound. I have spent years training and honing my skills to the point where I can reach this form. If you can do it so easily, then why don't you show me? Okay. Legend transformed into a Super Saiyan easily, and his power multiplied by 50 times his base form. Celery's eyes widen in surprise as she sees the transformation of Super Saiyan. Her expression changes of one of awe and admiration as she finally understands what it means to truly be powerful. You actually went Super Saiyan. I can't believe you actually did it. Yep, it even changed my black hair to yellow. Celery is impressed by the transformation, and she becomes even more intrigued. It changed your hair as well? I've never seen such a transformation before. And you say that it increases your power by 50 times your base form. That's incredible. And I can go way further than this. This is light work. Celery is even more surprised. You can? You mean there are higher levels of Super Saiyan? I've always thought that this was the pinnacle of Saiyan power, but now I see that there's still more to explore. What other levels are there? Legend begins to power up again as electricity sparks around him. This is a Super Saiyan 2. It's like a 100 times multiplier of my base form. Celery is stunned at the display of power, and she can't help but admire the beauty and intensity of the electricity sparkling around the Saiyan. Super Saiyan 2. That is incredible. I've never seen a power-up like this before. It increases your power level by 100 times. That is an insane increase. Legend then starts to speak in a strained voice. And this is to go even further beyond. He then starts powering up even more. Celery watches in amazement as Legend starts powering up more. This is insane. I've never seen such a powerful transformation before. And to think that there are still more levels to go? What are you capable of at this level? After 2 minutes straight, Legend finally finishes powering up as his hair grew out longer and he lost his eyebrows. The electricity around him became even more intense. This is Super Saiyan 3. It's a 200 times multiplier of the base form. Celery's eyes are wide with disbelief as she watches the transformation of Super Saiyan 3. Super Saiyan 3. It's so incredible. I've I've never seen such a transformation before, and the power increase is even more insane than before. I can't even begin to imagine what else you are capable of at this level. Legend then returned to his base form, and those are the weaker transformations. Celery's eyes widen even more as she realizes that those were just weak transformations. You mean there are even more powerful forms after Super Saiyan 3? And here I thought that was the pinnacle of Saiyan power. Not even close, no. Celery's eyes are wide with amazement. Not even close? So you mean to tell me that there are even more powerful transformations beyond Super Saiyan 3? What are they called? And how much stronger do they make you? Well, there is a Super Saiyan 4, but I can't use it. Celery's eyes light up with curiosity. Super Saiyan 4? You mean there is a level of Super Saiyan above Super Saiyan 3? What is it like? How much stronger does it make you? It's a 250 times base form multiplier, I think. But I don't have my tail anymore, so I can't use the transformation, even if I tried. But Gohan can. Celery is surprised that Super Saiyan 4 is such a powerful transformation with a power level of 250 times. So that's what Super Saiyan 4 is like. A 250 times multiplier is incredible, and Gohan can use it. So that means he's even more powerful than you. Nah, Gohan doesn't train and Gohan doesn't use his transformations anymore. Celery is surprised to hear that Gohan has abandoned his training and is no longer using transformations. Gohan no longer trains and has abandoned his transformations? I find that difficult to believe. He has the most powerful fighter in the entire universe for a time, and he was a master of both his normal form and his Super Saiyan form. It is hard to believe that he would just give up on all of that. Well, he had his potential awakened 2 times, so now he just uses his ultimate form. It's just his base form in a way, but with the full power of all his transformations. So when he fights, as long as he remembers his instincts, he does not need to transform. He has the potential to be the strongest person on the planet, but he chose to go to school. Celery's eyes widen in surprise as she hears that Gohan has awakened his potential twice, which has turned his base form into an ultimate form with the full power of all his transformations. Ultimate form? So he has turned his base form into an ultimate form, which contains the full power of all his transformations, and he is now the strongest person on the planet. But he chose to go to school instead. No, he's not the strongest on the planet, but he has the potential to be. Celery's expression changes to one of disbelief. Wait, so he has the potential to become the strongest person on the planet, but he has not yet reached that level. That's incredible. If he were to fully realize his potential, there would be no one who could challenge him. But I'm surprised that he has not yet reached that level, especially considering his past as the strongest fighter in the universe. No, he reached his potential. He just doesn't train. Celery's eyes narrow in curiosity. He reached his potential, yet he does not train. How can that be possible? Training is the key to becoming more powerful, especially when you have reached your potential, unless Gohan is somehow able to maintain his current level of strength without training. Gohan also started a family. Celery is surprised to hear that Gohan has started a family. He started a family, and yet he does not train. How is that possible? Does he not care about maintaining his strength and power? Nope. That's what me, Goku, and Vegeta are for. And Piccolo, and Android 18. At the mention of Android 18, Legend shamefully gets hearts in his eyes. Celery's eyes narrow again. So you're telling me that Gohan believes that you, Goku, Vegeta, Piccolo, and Android 18 are capable of protecting the planet and ensuring its safety? Does he not care at all about protecting the people of this world? Hey, you say it like we are weak. Celery is taken aback by the sudden hostility in Legend's response. Weak? No, that's not what I'm saying at all. You and the others are some of the strongest fighters in the universe. However, even the strongest fighters need to train in order to maintain their strengths and power. I'm just surprised that Gohan has chosen to forego his training and entrust the planet's protection to others. Whatever. I'm still stronger than him.
You're still stronger than Gohan? Even though he has reached his potential and possesses the power of all his transformations? I find that hard to believe.
Unlike me, Goku, and Vegeta, Gohan can't say he's a god. Celery's eyes narrow in disbelief. You're saying that Gohan is weaker than you and the other Saiyans because he can't claim to be a god. But that's ridiculous. Gohan's power is unmatched, regardless of whatever he can call himself, god or not. I find it hard to believe that you're actually stronger than him. Take a few steps back. Celery's expression changes to one of curiosity as she steps back. A few more steps back, please. Celery steps back even further, as Legend requests. A little bit more, please. Celery takes a few more steps back until she is a good distance away. Alright. Legend starts powering up again as he starts releasing God Ki. Celery's eyes widen in surprise as she feels the massive amount of energy being released. Legend's hair and his pupils turn red, and he becomes a tad bit thinner. This is what's known as a Super Saiyan God. It's a 550 times base form multiplier, and because I have God Ki, my regular Super Saiyan transformations are stronger than they should be. Celery's eyes are wide with awe as she watches the transformation into Super Saiyan God. The power increase is staggering, with a 550 times base form multiplier being an incredible amount of power. And it's not my energy that you feel, it's the pressure of the transformation. That's why I had you take a few steps back. Yeah, the pressure that I release of being in this God transformation, well, it's strong enough to crush you, basically. Celery's eyes widen in surprise as she realizes the power of the transformation. She realizes that it has an immense pressure to those who do not possess God Ki, or those who are not strong enough to withstand it. So those who are not strong enough to withstand it or do not possess God Ki are essentially overwhelmed by the transformation. Yep, that's the gist of it. Celery's eyes narrow in disbelief. So the reason you asked me to take a step back was so that I would not be overwhelmed by the immense power of the transformation. Yep. Celery's expression changes to one of admiration. That's very considerate of you. So, what happens if someone is overwhelmed by the immense power of the transformation? Well, it becomes hard for them to move and breathe. Celery's eyes narrow in concern. So if someone is overwhelmed by the power of the transformation, they have a hard time moving and breathing. That sounds quite serious. Legend just simply nodded. Celery is now feeling a bit overwhelmed by the power of the transformation, as she can feel the immense pressure on her body. It really is quite impressive. The amount of power coming from the transformation is incredible. And I can even go further than this, along with Goku and Vegeta. Celery's eyes widen with disbelief. You can go even further? And Goku and Vegeta? They can do this too? What happens when you all go beyond this level? Legend gets a serious look on his face as his eyes narrow. Then we are fighting someone very dangerous. Celery's expression changes to one of concern. Dangerous? Who are you fighting that would require such immense power? Frieza? Goku Black? From the other timeline? Gohan Black? From another timeline? Celery's eyes narrow in concern. Frieza? Goku Black? And Gohan Black? That sounds like quite the formidable opponents. And the fact that you need to reach such powerful levels to take them on says a lot about how dangerous they are. Yeah. Celery's expression then changes to one of seriousness. So you're saying that there are these incredibly powerful beings out there that you need to reach these immense levels to even have a chance against them. That is quite a daunting task. You have no idea. Celery's eyes narrow in concern. So not only do you have to reach these immense levels of power, but you also have to actually fight these people. And the fact that you have managed to survive this long against them speaks volumes of your strength and abilities. I would show you the rest of the transformations, but I don't want to break you with the pressure of the other transformations. Celery's expression changes to one of amusement. Oh, so you're concerned about breaking me with the immense pressure? Well, yeah. Celery's eyes narrow in suspicion. Why are you so concerned about breaking me with the immense pressure? Are you worried that I won't be able to withstand it or handle it? You won't. And why would I want to hurt a beautiful lady with a transformation? Celery's eyes widen in surprise at the compliment. A beautiful lady with a transformation? You think I'm beautiful? Yeah. Should I not? Celery narrows her eyes in amusement. No. I'm not saying that you shouldn't think I'm beautiful. I'm just surprised that you would compliment me in such a way. I'm not used to being complimented by powerful warriors like yourself. Thanks for the compliment. Celery's expression changes to one of curiosity. You're welcome. You know, you're not so bad yourself. You're a very powerful warrior, but you're also very considerate and kind. Legend finally returns back to his base form. Thanks. Celery's eyes narrow in curiosity as she watches Legend return to his base form. So, this is your base form. You seem so much stronger in your Super Saiyan forms, but your base form is quite formidable as well. It's because I train in my base form and have God Ki. Because I train in my base form, it makes all my other transformations stronger. The only time I actually train in my Super Saiyan transformations is when I need to master them. And I do that in a hyperbolic time chamber. Celery's eyes widen in surprise. You train in your base form, and you have God Ki. That explains why your base form is so powerful. And the fact that you train in your base form to make your other transformations stronger is an excellent way to improve your combat abilities. It's actually just common sense. Celery nods in agreement. I suppose it is common sense. But not every Saiyan has the discipline to follow such a training regimen. You're clearly a very skilled and determined warrior. Someone then appears behind Celery. Indeed he is. Celery narrows her eyes in concern as someone appears behind her, and she quickly spins around to face them. Legend gets hearts in his eyes. Hey 18! Celery's eyes widen with surprise as she sees Android 18 standing behind her. Wait, now that the two of you are standing together like that, the two of you kind of look similar. The only difference is the hair and the height. Celery narrows her eyes in thought as she looks between herself and then 18, comparing their appearances. You're right. There are some similarities between us, but the main difference is our hair and height, as you said. Android 18 decided to finally speak. Legend, why are you throwing around your power? Celery's eyes widen in surprise as Android 18 suddenly appears and speaks to Legend, referring to him by his nickname when he was on Planet Vegeta. Oh, I was just showing her some of the Saiyan transformations. Celery eyes narrows with curiosity. You were showing me some of the Saiyan transformations, so that's why your power seems so immense to me. You were showing me some of the transformations that you could achieve, correct? Well, yeah, you wanted to see them. Celery nodded in understanding. Yes, I did. I did want to see them. Your transformations are truly impressive, and it's fascinating to see what you are capable of achieving. Android 18 has seen my transformations as well. Celery's eyes narrow in curiosity. Really? She has seen all of your transformations as well? Yeah. UT was in the Tournament of Power. Celery's eyes widened with surprise. UT was in the Tournament of Power? Who's UT and what role did he play? My bad. I had a blonde moment. It was in the Tournament of Power where 18 saw all my transformations. Celery's eyes narrow in suspicion. You're saying that 18 saw all of your transformations in the Tournament of Power. But how is that possible? Wasn't the Tournament of Power only for mortals? Legend looked at her like she was stupid. We are mortals. Celery's eyes narrow with confusion. Are you saying that Saiyans are considered mortals? I had always thought that Saiyans were considered a divine race of warriors. 18 glares at Legend. What do you mean having a blonde moment? Are you saying that blondes are dumb? Celery's eyes widen with surprise as Android 18 suddenly asks Legend that question. No, 18, I swear. I would never call you dumb, I swear. Please forgive me. Android 18 narrows her eyes in suspicion as she stares at Legend, her face showing no emotion. You swear that you were not calling me dumb? I swear, you're almost as smart as Gohan. Android 18's expression changes to one of surprise, and she looks slightly amused. You swear that I'm almost as smart as Gohan? So you're saying that I am very smart? Yes. Legend lets out a sigh. Android 18 narrows her eyes in suspicion as she stares at Legend for a few seconds before she begins to smile slightly. I'm leaving. Celery's eyes narrow in confusion. You're leaving? Why are you leaving? Is something wrong? Legend just says nothing as he just takes off and flies away, going home. Celery's eyes narrow in concern as Legend flies off without saying a single word, and she just watches him go. It's kinda my fault that he left. Poor boy. Celery's eyes narrow in confusion. It's your fault that he left? How is it your fault? Can't you tell? He has a huge crush on me. If you pay close enough attention, whenever he talks about me, his pupils turn into little hearts. He's been trying to get over his crush on me, but I make it difficult. He isn't like Vegeta at all, so he doesn't cross any lines. that shouldn't be crossed, even if I want him to. Celery's eyes narrow in surprise. He has a huge crush on you, and his pupils turn into hearts when he talks about you. That's quite unusual. Does he really not cross any lines? Yes, it's because I'm already married, and unlike Vegeta, the legend won't steal another man's woman. Celery's eyes narrow in concern. He won't steal another man's woman. So, he's been trying to get over his crush on you, but you make it difficult for him. Android 18 only nodded. Celery looked at Android 18 with suspicion. So, you're intentionally making it difficult for him to get over his crush on you. If you've seen my husband, you'd understand. I don't understand, Celery said. Her eyes were narrowed with confusion. I've seen your husband, and he's certainly intimidating and powerful, but what does that have to do with making it difficult for Legend to get over his crush on you? 18 could only laugh. Celery just looked at Android 18 like she was stupid. As she watched her laugh. You're laughing. Why are you laughing? You think Krillin is powerful and intimidating. He's not even at the level of a Super Saiyan, but then again, he is just an Earthling. Celery's eye narrowed in surprise. Krillin isn't at the level of Super Saiyan, but I've seen him fight against some very powerful enemies, and he's always managed to come out on top. Android 18 has a chuckle. She could tell that the girl was lying, trying to just stick up for Krillin, a person that she didn't even know. Enemies like who? Celery pauses for a moment, thinking of people of which she's heard about. Well, I've seen Krillin fight well. I've seen him fight against Frieza, King Cold, Majin Buu, Cell, Perfect Cell, and many more powerful enemies. And he always manages to defeat them, even though he's an Earthling. He's never fought any of them and won. Celery's eyes narrow in disbelief. Krillin hasn't fought Frieza or King Cold, or Cell, or Majin Buu, or Perfect Cell? Are you sure that you're not thinking of someone else? Android 18 looked at the new girl as if she were stupid. Was she really questioning if her husband won any fights against people that she knew that he was not stronger than? Goku, Future Trunks, and Vegeta beat Frieza. Future Trunks beat King Cold. Vegeta beat Cell. Gohan beat Perfect Cell. And Goku beat Majin Buu. Krillin didn't do anything. Celery's eyes widened in surprise. I guess you're right. I guess Krillin really never fought any of them, but he's still a very powerful warrior in his own right. The next day, Celery is walking around in the city, looking around and taking in the sights. She was just dressed in casual outfits, not in her battle armor. Legend then suddenly flies above her, not really noticing her. Celery looks up in surprise as she sees Legend flying above her, and she stops walking to watch. Legend was talking to himself. Maybe if I master this new transformation, maybe I'll be able to help Future Trunks beat Future Gohan, or Gohan Black, whatever you call him. Celery's eyes narrowed in suspicion as she hears Legend talking to himself about mastering a new transformation. Which transformation are you talking about? Legend stopped flying as he turned around. Celery's eyes widened with surprise as Legend turned around and she looked up at him. "Oh, hey Celery." Celery smiles as she waved hi. "What are you doing up there?" "Oh, I'm going to the hyperbolic time chamber." Celery's eyes widen with surprise. "The hyperbolic time chamber? You're going there to train?" "Mm-hmm." Celery's eyes narrow in concern. "Aren't you a little bit too powerful for the hyperbolic time chamber?" "The chamber is designed to help you train while keeping you at your current level, so I'm not sure it would be effective for you." "That's not how it works." Celery's eyes narrowed in suspicion. "Really? How does it work then?" "Come with me and find out." Legend then flew off. Celery's eyes narrowed in suspicion, but she followed regardless. Legend made his way to Kami's lookout. Celery also made her way to Kami's lookout. Legend walked into the hyperbolic time chamber as Celery followed close behind, entering the hyperbolic time chamber. She looks around with curiosity. "Oh, you actually came." Celery smiles. "Of course I did. I was curious to see what the hyperbolic time chamber was like. All it does is speed up time. 24 hours here is like, I think, an hour in the real world." Celery's eyes narrow in suspicion. "So that means you could spend a whole day in here and only 1 minute would pass in the real world? 1 day here is 1 hour in the real world." Celery nods in understanding. "So you could train for a whole day here and only an hour would pass in the real world. That's pretty impressive." "Uh-huh." Celery's eyes narrow in curiosity. "So, what are you going to train for in here? Are you planning to master a new transformation?" "Yeah." Celery's eyes narrow in suspicion. "Which transformation are you planning on mastering?" "Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 3. Celery's eyes widen with surprise. "You're going to try to master Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 3? That's a pretty powerful transformation. Are you sure you're ready for it?" "You've never even seen the transformation before." Celery's eyes narrow in suspicion. "Yeah, you're right. I've never seen it, but from what I've heard, Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 3 is even more powerful than Super Saiyan God. Are you sure you're ready for that kind of power?" Legend said nothing. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing. "Is everything all right? You seem a little bit hesitant." "The truth is, the last time I used it, I almost died from the stress that it put my body through." Celery's eyes widened in surprise and concern. "You almost died from the stress that it put on your body? But you still want to try and master it?" "I have to." Celery's eyes narrow in suspicion. "You have to? Why do you have to?" "Because Gohan Black created another timeline and stole God Ki from Goku Black." Celery's eyes widened with shock. Gohan Black created another timeline, stole God Ki from Goku Black. That's terrible. How are we going to stop him? How am I going to stop him? Celery's eyes narrow in suspicion. You're the only one who's strong enough to fight Gohan Black? You're the only one who could stop him? Sadly. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in concern. It's not sad. You're the only one who can stop him, so you have to do it, right? Yeah. Celery smiles. So are you ready to face Gohan Black and stop him from creating another timeline? Not really. Celery eyes narrow with concern. You're not ready to face Gohan Black? Why not? Because I'm just not ready. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in concern. What makes you think you're not ready to face Gohan Black? Is there something you're worried about? You've never seen Goku and Vegeta fuse into Vegito, have you? Celery eyes narrow in surprise. No, I've never seen Goku and Vegeta fuse into Vegito. Well, that's technically the strongest fighter in this universe. If it were not a fusion, Vegito has the abilities of both Goku and Vegeta. Celery's eyes widen in surprise. So Vegito is the strongest fighter in the universe? Even stronger than you? Yeah, as of right now, he's stronger than me by a long shot. But in order for Vegito to appear, Goku and Vegeta need to fuse into him. And both of them can go Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan, or what we call it, Super Saiyan Blue. And Goku can use Kaioken times 20. Celery's eyes narrow with concern. So Vegito is the strongest fighter in the universe because he's a fusion of Goku and Vegeta. And Goku can use Kaioken times 20 and Super Saiyan Blue. That's very powerful. Yeah, and that means Vegito can go Super Saiyan Blue with Kaioken multiplier of 20 stacked on top of that. Celery's eyes widen with surprise. So Vegito can go Super Saiyan Blue with a Kaioken multiplier of 20 stacked on top of it, right? That's even more powerful than I thought. That's how strong Gohan Black is. Celery's eyes showed nothing but concern. Gohan Black is that strong? So he can fight Vegito? No. He would kill Vegito simply because Vegito would defuse after 5 minutes. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing with concern. So Vegito would defuse after 5 minutes. That's not much time to fight against Gohan Black. That's why I have to do it. And Gohan can't go and fight him because if Gohan Black is anything like Goku Black, then every time Gohan would do damage to Gohan Black would just get stronger. Celery's eyes narrow with concern. So Gohan Black would get stronger every time Gohan did damage to him. That's very dangerous. Legend said nothing.
Are you sure you're ready to fight Gohan Black? He sounds very powerful.
I'll find out in 24 days or 24 hours on the outside. Celery's eyes narrow in suspicion. So you're going to train for 24 days in the hyperbolic time chamber to try and master Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan 3, and then you're going to fight Gohan Black. Yeah. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in concern. What if you can't master Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan 3 in 24 days? Or what if you can't defeat Gohan Black? Then I'll die. Celery's eyes widened with shock and concern. You're telling me that you're going to die if you can't master Super Saiyan God Super Saiyan 3 or defeat Gohan Black? Yes. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in concern. That's a very heavy burden to put upon yourself. Are you sure you can handle the pressure? I guess you chose the wrong time to come to this planet, but yeah, I have to be able to handle the pressure. Celery's eyes narrow with concern. I can understand that you feel like you have to, but I still think it's a lot of pressure to put on yourself. Are you sure you are ready for that kind of responsibility? Who else is going to fight him? Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in concern. You're right. Who else would fight him? You're the only one who can. Now, you already saw the Super Saiyan God transformation. Do you want to see the next step that comes after Super Saiyan God? Celery narrowed her eyes with interest. The next step of God? Do you mean that there is a level beyond Super Saiyan God? Duh. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in surprise. So you're telling me that you're going to try and master Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 3, and then go beyond that and reach a new level of God Ki? What? No. Where did you get that from? Celery narrows her eyes in curiosity. If you're not going to reach a new level of God Ki, then what do you mean by the next step of God? I'll just show you. Legend starts to power up, going straight into Super Saiyan God. Celery's eyes widen in shock. You're already in Super Saiyan God. That's incredible. This is the next step after Super Saiyan God. Legend starts to power up once more. Celery's eyes narrow with curiosity. So this is the next step after Super Saiyan God. You're powering up even further? Legend finally transforms into Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. Celery's eyes widen in shock and amazement. Wow, that's incredible. You've already reached Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan. You can just call this Super Saiyan Blue. This is a 600 times base form multiplier. The celery eyes narrow. 600 times base multiplier. That's very powerful. Can you control it, or does it just activate automatically? I could control it. Celery's eyes narrow with admiration. You have a lot of control over Super Saiyan Blue. That's very impressive. Legend starts to power up again. Celery's eyes narrow with curiosity and amazement. You're going to power up again? Legend transforms into Super Saiyan Blue level 2. I call this one Super Saiyan Blue level 2. This is a 950 times base form multiplier. Celery's eyes widen in surprise and admiration. 950 times base multiplier. That's even more than Super Saiyan Blue. Can you control this transformation as well? Yes. Celery eyes show nothing but curiosity. That's incredible. Do you have any other transformations that you can use, or is that it? Legend takes a deep breath. You may want to back up a lot for this last one. Celery backs all the way up, looking at Legend with curiosity and anticipation. Legend powers up for 3 minutes straight as the veins all over his body start to bulge. Celery's eyes narrow with awe and amazement as she watches Legend power up for 3 minutes straight, nothing but screaming. The ground underneath Legend explodes, forming a huge crater. Celery's eyes widens in shock and awe as the ground underneath Legend explodes as the crater forms. Legend walks out of the crater with long blue hair, no eyebrows, and deep yellow pupilless eyes, and a slightly more muscular build. Celery's eyes widen with admiration and awe as she watches him walk out of the crater with this new transformation and muscular build. This is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 3, or what I like to call it, Super Saiyan Blue level 3. This is the form that nearly killed me. Celery's eyes narrow with concern. This is Super Saiyan God, Super Saiyan 3, or what you like to call Super Saiyan Blue level 3? It looks incredibly powerful, but I'm also concerned about the fact that you said it nearly killed you. Are you sure you can handle this transformation? No. This has a base form multiplier of 2,045 times. Celery's eyes widen in shock and amazement. A 2,045 times base multiplier. That's incredible. Can you control it? Or is it just active? No, I can't control it. Celery's eyes narrow in concern. You can't control this transformation. What happens when you turn into this form? Does it take a lot out of you? Yes, it takes quite a bit out of me. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in concern. That's very dangerous. How much time can you stay in this form before it starts to take a toll on you? In a strained voice, Legend answers, 3 minutes. Celery's eyes narrow with concern. Only 3 minutes? That's a very short amount of time to stay in this form. Do you know what happens when those 3 minutes are up? My body starts to rip itself apart slowly. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in shock and concern. Your body starts to rip itself apart slowly. When the 3 minutes are up, that's very dangerous. What happens if you stay in the form for too long? Legend didn't say anything. Celery's eyes narrow with concern and fear. What happens if you stay in the form for too long? Please tell me. I don't want you to get hurt. Legend still refused to answer the question. Celery is clearly worried and concerned about Legend and this transformation. Please tell me. I can't let you risk your life like this. I don't want you to get hurt. Legend finally spoke in a strained voice. You should leave. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes wide with concern. Are you sure you don't want me to stay and help you? I don't want to just leave you alone like this. Legend says nothing. Celery's eyes are full of concern, but she decides to stay anyways. I'm not going to just leave you alone in this state. I can't just let you risk your life like this. You don't have a choice. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes full of frustration and anger. You're right, I don't have a choice, but I'm still not going to leave you alone. I'm going to stay here and watch over you until this transformation wears off. It won't. Celery's eyes are now filled with concern. So, you're telling me that you're going to stay in this form indefinitely? That's incredibly dangerous. You could die. If I don't, we all die. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in fear and concern. What do you mean by that? What do you mean by, if I don't, we all die? What's going on? Gohan Black can travel to other timelines freely. If he wanted, he could come here right now and kill everyone. Celery's eyes narrow with fear and worry. That's terrifying. Is there anything we can do to stop him from traveling to the other timelines? I have to master this form and kill him. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in concern and worry. So you're saying that you have to master this form in order to kill Gohan Black? And if you don't, he will keep coming back and causing destruction. Yeah, that's the gist of it. Celery eyes are filled with fear and worry. That's a very heavy burden to carry. How long do you have to master this form and kill Gohan Black? 1 Earth Day. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing with shock and concern. You only have 1 day to master this form and kill Gohan Black? That's not a lot of time. That's why I'm in here. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing with concern. So, you're in here trying to master this form in a day. More like 24. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing with relief. Oh, okay. I thought you only had 1 day. So, you actually have 24 days to master this form and kill Gohan Black. That's still a very short amount of time, but it's not as bad as 1 day. Legend then coughs up blood as he falls to his knees. Celery's eyes narrow in concern as she sees him cough up blood. Are you okay? What happened? Legend sits there on his knees. The transformation starts to fade, but he wills it to stay active. I'm fine. Celery rushes over to him and kneels down. You're obviously not fine. You're coughing up blood. Please let me help you. I don't want you to get hurt. Legend's voice came out even more strained. How kind of you. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes full of concern. I don't understand why you're being so stubborn about this. You're obviously not fine, and you're risking your life trying to push this transformation past its limits. I just want to help you. You don't have people on this planet that you care about. I do. And I'll do everything in my power to keep them safe. Celery's eyes were full with understanding and concern. I see. So you're willing to push yourself this far to protect the people that you care about. That's very selfless of you. This transformation would be no problem if I had my tail. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing with concern. Your tail? Why would you need your tail to make this transformation easier? This transformation is linked to my inner Ozaru. Celery's eyes narrow in understanding. Oh, I see. This transformation is linked to your inner Ozaru, and since you lost your tail, you don't have access to that power anymore. You're half right. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes now curious. So you're saying I'm not quite right. What am I missing? I have access to the power, but only when I mix it with another form of power. Celery's eyes are now filled with understanding. I see. So you can access the power, but you need to mix it with another form of power in order to make the transformation complete. Yeah. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes now curious again. So what kind of power are you mixing it with? God Key. Celery's eyes are showing how surprised she is. They're showing the admiration that she's having for Legend at the moment. You're mixing God Key with your inner Ozaru power? That's incredible! I guess. Celery chuckles as well. You're really impressive. I can't believe you're able to mix God Key with your inner Ozaru power to access this transformation. It's truly incredible. Only me, Bulma, Trunks, Goku and Vegeta, Piccolo, and Beerus know about Gohan Black. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in concern. Only you, Bulma, Goku, Vegeta, Beerus, Trunks, and Piccolo are the only ones who know about Gohan Black. Why haven't you told anyone else? What would they be able to do? Huh? Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in thought. They wouldn't be able to do much, but but at least they could be warned and prepared for the threat. If everyone knew about Gohan Black, they could be on the lookout for him and try to find a way to stop him. Yeah, they would try to stop someone who can destroy this planet with a finger. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes full of concern. That's true. If everyone knew about Gohan Black, they would try to stop him, but you can't just keep this a secret from everyone. There has to be a way to warn everyone and prepare them for this threat. He's gonna kill me. Celery stops for a moment, her eyes full of worry. He's planning to murder you? What did you do to make him want to do that? Nothing. But at the level I'm at now, I won't stand a chance. Celery's eyes narrow with concern and fear. So you're telling me that if Gohan Black came here right now, he could easily kill you? Yeah. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes full of fear and worry. That's terrifying. We have to find a way to stop him from coming here. And Gohan Black may not have had his potential awakened 2 times like our Gohan, but Gohan Black has still had his potential awakened once. So, he doesn't need any transformations. He can still use his ultimate form, just like our Gohan. Celery's eyes are full of fear and concern. The fact that Gohan Black didn't need any transformations, he could just use an ultimate form like present Gohan, that was terrifying. If Gohan Black's potential was awakened once, that means he's incredibly strong. He could probably kill you with just a finger. Thanks for the encouragement. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes narrowing in concern and worry. I'm sorry. I didn't mean to discourage you. I'm just trying to make you realize how dangerous the situation is. Even if I fuse with future Trunks, he would only last about 10 minutes at most to kill him. Celery's eyes narrow with fear and worry. That's not a lot of time to try and defeat Gohan Black, but even with that short amount of time, it's still possible to beat him if you play your cards right. 24 days later, Celery is standing next to Legend, watching as you try to master the Super Saiyan God level 3. Super Saiyan Blue level 3. She's incredibly worried and concerned about Legend's well-being, but she tries to not let that get in the way of being supportive to him. I'm out of time. Celery's eyes narrow in concern and fear. No, please don't say that. There has to be a way to get out of this transformation before the time runs out. Legend releases the transformation as his body starts to spasm as he collapses over. Celery's eyes widen with concern as she rushes over to the collapsed Saiyan as his body is spasming. What's happening? Are you okay? Sensu Bean. Celery rushes over to one of the freezers in the hyperbolic time chamber as she grabs a bag of sensu beans and rushes back as she feeds the sensu bean to Legend. And just like that, he jumps up like nothing happened. All injuries gone. His body doesn't feel like it's tearing itself apart from the inside out anymore. Celery is taken aback by how quickly he was able to recover, but she's relieved that he seemed to be okay. Well, I guess it's time to walk into my grave. Celery's eyes are full of concern and fear. No, don't say that. You're not going to die. You don't know that. Celery pauses for a moment, her eyes full of frustration and fear. I can't just let you go and fight Gohan Black by yourself. I won't let you die. How nice of you. Celery smiles warmly at Legend, but it's clear that she's concerned. I can't just sit here and watch you walk into certain death. I refuse to let you go and fight him alone. Legend decided to hug her. Celery is surprised by the hug, but she returned the hug willingly as she hugged him back tightly. Thank you, Celery. If things were different, I'd probably marry you. But things aren't different. Legend then chopped her in the back of the neck, knocking her out. Celery fell to the ground, unconscious immediately as the back of her neck was chopped. She was out cold and unable to wake up for a long time. Legend decided to take his leave and meet up with Bulma at Capsule Corps. Celery remained unconscious as Legend left. Once Legend met up with Bulma, the two of them hopped into a time machine as they went to the timeline of future Trunks and Gohan Black. Celery remained unconscious in the hyperbolic time chamber as Bulma traveled to Gohan's Black timeline with Legend. She was completely unaware of everything that was happening, unable to wake up. Legend appeared in a new timeline and he saw Trunks about to die. Trunks was in his Super Saiyan God form. Celery remained unconscious as Legend appeared in the new timeline and seeing Trunks about to die. She was unaware of everything that was happening, unable to wake up. Trunks was losing the fight badly and was about to be killed by Gohan Black. Legend shot a ki blast at Gohan Black, knocking him away from Trunks. The ki blast knocked Gohan Black away, saving Trunks' life. Trunks is still injured and unconscious, but he's no longer in immediate danger. Bulma, get Trunks a sensu bean. Bulma nods and rushes over to Trunks, grabbing a sensu bean from her bag and feeding it to him. Trunks regains consciousness, but he still has some injuries, but he's stable. Gohan Black comes back, exploding out of the buildings with a boom as he glares at me. He dusts off his clothes like nothing had ever happened to him. And who might you be? Gohan Black looks at Legend, and his expression is cold and ruthless. He stares at him with a mix of hatred and arrogance, and he seems unfazed by his presence. To think that you have fell this far, Gohan. I can't believe you have the nerve to call yourself a Saiyan. A boy who used to love peace now takes it away from others. You're pathetic with your stolen power. Let me show you the difference between a disgrace like you and an actual warrior like me. Legend then started to power up, going straight into Super Saiyan God. Gohan's Black expression changed as he watches Legend power up and become a Super Saiyan God. He seemed surprised by the sudden transformation, but he remained confident and arrogant. He smiled confidently as he stood tall, unfazed by the power at all. Celery finally woke up. Celery slowly wakes up and groggily looks around. She realizes that she is no longer unconscious, but her head still feels hazy and she is disorientated from the recent events. Back in the future Trunks timeline with Legend and Gohan Black, they are fighting. Celery watches as Legend fights Gohan Black. She is still disorientated from being unconscious, but she is amazed by the power of the fighting abilities that she is witnessing. She can see that Legend is incredibly strong as a fighter, But she can also see that Gohan Black is extremely powerful as well as she watches on a big screen in the hyperbolic time chamber. Mr. Popo enters the time chamber with her as he watches the fight between Legend and Gohan Black on the big screen. Celery follows Mr. Popo. She watches the fight between Legend and Gohan Black on the big screen, and she is impressed by all the skills and abilities that she is seeing. She can see that Legend is putting up a good fight, but Gohan Black is proving to be an incredibly powerful opponent. Back in the future Trunks timeline. I see why Trunks struggled with you, even when he was in his God form, but unlike him, I can go 100 times farther than God. Legend then starts to power up into his Super Saiyan Blue level 2. Gohan Black's expression changes as Legend starts to power up into Super Saiyan Blue level 2. He seems surprised by the sudden increase in power, and he takes a step back in surprise. He seems impressed by the amount of strength and power that is radiating off of Legend, but he is also still confident and arrogant. Legend and Gohan Black start fighting again. Celery watches as Legend and Gohan Black continue fighting. She is amazed by the incredible strength and power, but she can also see that Gohan Black is proving to be a formidable opponent. The fight is intense and fast paced. The only reason why she could see is because the screen that they're watching on is slowing down the fight. If she were there in person, she would not see anything. She would just hear the audio cues and explosions, with both of them landing powerful blows against each other. Gohan charges a full power Kamehameha. He charges the Kamehameha, and the air around him is filled with energy. He is clearly preparing to unleash the devastating attack against Legend. Like that'll work against me. Times 10. Final Flash! Gohan's Kamehameha clashes with the Final Flash, and the two attacks collide in a massive explosion. The energy from the attack is so powerful that it knocks both Legend and Gohan back, and both of them land on the ground with a thud. The battlefield is completely wrecked with rubble and debris everywhere. Damn, that took a lot out of me. Legend can feel the exhaustion and fatigue from the intense fight kicking in. He's completely exhausted and out of energy, and it feels as though his body is about to give out. Gohan Black seems to be in the same condition, as he is also exhausted from the fight and the massive explosion that just occurred. As I am now, I can't beat you, but it's a good thing beating you isn't my job. Gohan Black's expression changes as he hears those words. He seems intrigued and surprised by what Legend just said. He raises an eyebrow in curiosity, wondering what he meant. Legend then starts to power up once more, using as much strength as he can muster, as he starts to transform into his Super Saiyan Blue level 3. Gohan Black's expression changes as he sees Legend power up in the Super Saiyan Blue level 3. A new transformation, something he's never seen before. He seems surprised by the sudden increase of power, and he takes a step back in surprise. He seems intimidated by the amount of strength and power that Legend has, but he is also still confident and arrogant. Why'd you take a step back, Gohan? Do you fear me? Gohan Black's expression changes as he hears Legend taunting him. He narrows his eye, and his face turns cold and ruthless. He smiles confidently and stands tall, unfazed by the taunting. And I'm not even done yet. Legend starts to power up even more. Gohan Black's expression changes as he sees Legend continue to power up even more. He narrows his eyes. His face becomes more serious. He starts to take the fight more seriously, and he stands tall and powerful. Legend finishes powering up, and he clenches his fist. Now, I'll show you something special. Feast your eyes on the Kaioken. Legend stacks the Kaioken with the Super Saiyan Blue level 3. Gohan Black's expression changes as Legend stacks the Kaioken with his transformation. His eyes narrow and he looks impressed, but he still seems confident and arrogant. He seems to be preparing for a powerful attack. But back in the normal timeline with Mr. Popo and Celery. Celery watches the intense battle between Legend and Gohan Black with Mr. Popo. She is amazed by the incredible strength and power. She is impressed by the way that Legend is utilizing the Kaioken. She didn't even know he had the Kaioken, but she is impressed by how he's using it with his Super Saiyan Blue level 3. She can see that Gohan Black is also putting up a good fight, but he is unable to match Legend's power and skill at this point, but he can still keep up to a certain extent. But Mr. Popo, he is talking in a panic. What is he doing? He can't stack that transformation with Kaioken. Mr. Popo is panicking, watching as Legend continues to stack the Kaioken with Super Saiyan Blue level 3. He is concerned about the strain that this is putting on Legend's body, and he is afraid that Legend might overdo it and hurt himself. Legend continues to power up as Gohan steps back. And that's not even how far I can go. Legend continues to power up. Gohan can feel the multiplier stacking with Legend's transformation. And he is now afraid. He now has the fear of a god placed inside of him. Gohan Black's expression changes as Legend powers up even more. He is shocked by the level of power that is radiating, the level of power that Legend was able to reach, and he starts to look more concerned. He takes a step back as he watches Legend push himself even further. When Legend is done powering up, all Gohan can hear is the roar of an Ozaru. And then he is speed blitzed as he feels multiple hits land on him. Multiple clean hits, taking the energy right out of him. Gohan Black is caught off guard by the sudden speed blitz, and he is unable to react in time. That was 20 clean hits landed, a 20-piece combo, knocking him back and sending him flying away. He crashes into a wall and slumps down on the ground, completely exhausted. Take this! Gohan Black was still recovering from the last attack when Legend launched the final Big Bang Kamehameha. He was completely exhausted, out of energy, and he was unable to defend himself. The final Big Bang Kamehameha lands with incredible power and force, completely destroying Gohan Black and the entire battlefield. Mr. Popo is crying as he watches Legend put every last drop of energy into the last attack, to the point where even he put every drop of his transformation energy into the attack, to the point where he lost his transformation. In the end, Legend turned to stone as he fell out of the sky and shattered on impact. Mr. Popo watched the final attack with tears in his eyes, and he was amazed by the courage that Legend showed, the determination. He watches as he put the last ounce of his energy, every ounce of his life force, into the attack. He watches as he turned to stone, as he fell from the sky, as he shattered on impact. Mr. Popo was devastated. He was heartbroken, and he cried for Legend. Celery is also very distraught and heartbroken, and she cried for Legend as well. 1 hour later, Bulma is now back in the normal timeline with Mr. Popo and Celery. Bulma, Mr. Popo, and Celery are all back in the normal timeline, but they are all emotional. They are distraught, and they are all heartbroken. Bulma is crying, and Mr. Popo is trying to comfort her. Celery was also crying and feeling devastated, and she just couldn't stop thinking about what had happened. Legend's soul then reaches out and touches everyone that he had fought for on the shoulder, from Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta to Android 18, Bulma, Celery, Mr. Popo, and even Piccolo. They all could feel the soul of Legend touch them. From Goku, Trunks, and Vegeta to Android 18, Bulma, Celery, Mr. Popo, and Piccolo, everyone could feel Legend's touch, and they all had different reactions. Goku felt sadness and remorse. Trunks felt guilt and regret. Vegeta felt sadness and disappointment. Android 18 felt love and affection. Bulma felt heartbreak and grief. Celery felt devastation and loss. Mr. Popo felt sadness and pity. Meanwhile, on Beerus' planet, yo, what's up, Goku? Vegeta. Goku and Vegeta were hanging out and relaxing. They were talking about the battle against Gohan Black and Legend, and they are both feeling sad and disappointed. They both feel like they could have done more to protect Legend. They are feeling guilty and regretful. Yo guys, it's me, Legend. Goku and Vegeta are surprised to see Legend there, to see him appear there. They look at him in confusion. They seem unsure of what to say or do, and they don't know how to react. Goku is still feeling sad and disappointed about the battle against Gohan Black, and he doesn't know what to say. I can't lie, that fight was awesome. Vegeta, did you see that final flash I did? I mean, I may have died in the end, but I'm a good guy, so the old hag let me visit you guys for a day. Goku and Vegeta both smiled and laughed a bit when Legend said that he had died. They seemed to appreciate the humor of the situation. They both agreed that the battle was indeed awesome, and they are impressed by Legend's final flash. Vegeta mostly, since he the one who trained him to use it. Vegeta nods and smiled. Goku nodded and laughed. They both seemed happy to see Legend. And did you see that finisher I did? It was even better than the final Kamehameha you did when you fought Merge Zamasu. Goku and Vegeta both laughed and smiled again when Legend said that his final finisher was even better than the final Kamehameha when he fought Merge Zamasu. They both had to agree that the final finisher was an impressive and powerful attack, and they both were impressed. They seemed impressed. Goku nodded, smiles, and Vegeta nodded and laughed. They both seemed happy to see it. Oh, I forgot to greet Lord Beerus. Goku and Vegeta both chuckled a little when Legend said that he forgot to greet Beerus. Beerus was just sitting on his throne, relaxing and enjoying the show. He was watching Legend with a smile on his face, but he didn't really seem to be paying any attention to what they were saying. Goku and Vegeta both had a smile on their faces and they nodded their heads to him. And they both seemed happy to see Legend. They seemed happy to see their student. Well, I should probably go and visit Bulma and the others. They seemed pretty distraught about everything. Goku and Vegeta both nodded and agreed that Legend should probably go and visit Bulma and the others. They both seemed like they understood how he felt, and they seemed concerned for his friends. Goku smiles and nods, and Vegeta smiles and nods as well. They both seemed happy to see Legend, but they also seemed to be concerned about his friends as well and the entire situation. Well, see ya. Legend started to walk away, and then he stopped. Hey Goku, can you instant transmission me there? Goku nodded with a smile. He concentrated and uses his instant transmission to teleport Legend to Bulma's house, where she is still crying and feeling devastated by the entire event. Thanks, Teach. Goku smiles and nods as he says, no problem. And then he disappears in an instant transmission. Bulma looks up and sees Legend, and she is shocked to see Legend standing there. She is still crying and feeling devastated. Bulma is still crying and feeling devastated. She looks up at Legend and she wipes her tears. She is happy to see Legend, but she is also still feeling sad and grief-stricken. You can stop crying now. Bulma looks at Legend and she tries to stop crying. She wipes away her tears and she nods her head. She's still feeling sad and grief-stricken, but she's trying her best to be strong and stop crying. Not gonna lie, I didn't think I'd be able to kill Gohan Black. Bulma nods and she says, I know what you mean. It was a tough fight and I'm not sure how you did it, but you did. And we're all grateful to you for that. It was a tough battle, but you managed to push through and you saved us all. Honestly, I was just trying to weaken him enough so Trunks would be able to beat him. Bulma smiles and nods. I know what you mean. It was a team effort and you all worked really well together to defeat Gohan Black. You put in so much effort and you made the sacrifice. But you've done enough for now. You can rest now. We'll take it from here. Take what from here? I did all the work. I even have the halo to prove it. Bulma laughed as she says, I know you did all the work, and I'm not doubting you, but we can handle it from here. You've done enough for now, and you should rest. You deserve it. I'm gonna go visit Mr. Popo. Bulma nods as she says, go ahead, Mr. Popo would probably like that. He's been distraught and heartbroken, and he could probably use the support. He's still feeling guilty and regretful about the situation, so it might be good for him if you visited him. Legend begins to leave as he flies off to Kami's tower, and he sees Mr. Popo and Celery crying on each other. He lands on the tower, both of them devastated and heartbroken as they are just crying heavily. Mr. Popo was hugging Celery tightly and he is trying to comfort her. Celery is crying and she is feeling overwhelmed with grief and loss. They both seem like they need each other's support and comfort right now. Legend bursts out laughing as he starts rolling on the floor from laughter. He laughs so hard that his stomach starts to hurt. And as Mr. Popo and Celery both look up with a puzzled expression, looking confused, they don't understand what's so funny, and they don't know why Legend is laughing, rolling on the floor. Mr. Popo, you sound so funny. You sound funny as hell when you're crying. Mr. Popo is taken aback by the comment, and he starts to feel embarrassed. he is still crying and he doesn't like it when people make fun of him. Celery is also feeling embarrassed and she's looking at Legend with an annoyed expression. She doesn't think it's funny and she doesn't appreciate Legend making fun of Mr. Popo when he's crying. He then stops laughing. No, but in all seriousness, thanks for letting me use the time chamber. If not for you, Mr. Popo, everyone would probably be dead right now. Mr. Popo seems surprised by Legend's sudden seriousness. He is also relieved to hear that Legend appreciated him and the things that he had done for him. He smiles and nods, and he's happy to know that Legend is grateful and appreciative and supportive of his help. Celery is also relieved to hear that Legend appreciates Mr. Popo and the things that he has done for him. She feels like the situation is finally getting better and settling down and everything is going to be okay. And as for you, Celery, I don't really know who you are or where you really came from, but I meant every word I said before I knocked you out. Celery is surprised by Legend's words, and she blushes a bit. She doesn't know what to say. She's happy that Legend appreciated her and the things that she did. She also seems like she has a bit of a crush on him, but she doesn't want to admit it. She looks at Legend and she smiles slightly. Well, I'm gonna go see Piccolo. See ya. Celery smiles and she nods her head. She says, sure, go ahead. You should probably go and check on Piccolo. He's probably worried and anxious about the situation as well. I'm sure he would appreciate your support and comfort as well. Piccolo then walks up behind them. Don't bother. I've been here the entire time. Piccolo walked up behind them, scaring all of them. They had no idea that Piccolo was there. Yo, Piccolo, how was that for an awesome fight? Piccolo stares at Legend with a look of approval and admiration. He seems to be impressed by the way that Legend fought and the power that he used. He nods his head as he says, that was an impressive fight. You did a good job. You showed a lot of skill and strength, and you used it effectively to defeat Gohan Black. You should be proud of yourself. Damn right I am, even though I died a virgin. Legend said the last part under his breath, but they all still heard him. Piccolo smiles as he starts to chuckle a bit at the comment. He seems to have heard what Legend has said, and he seems to have found it funny. Celery is surprised by the comment, and she starts to laugh. Mr. Popo also started to laugh as he says, well, you're still young. There's still time for you to get some experience and learn how to be more comfortable with women. Legend was embarrassed. Hey, don't laugh at me or I'll tell 18 that you all laughed at me. Piccolo began to laugh even harder. Hey, no need to threaten us. We're not laughing at you. We're just impressed by your bravery and courage. We're not laughing at you. We're just amused by your comment. And besides, what would 18 do if she knew that we laughed at you? Legend is still embarrassed. She would have all y'all stanking on the floor like Yamcha when he died to a Cyberman. Piccolo laughs even harder, and he says, well, that's true. She would probably be very angry at us if she knew that we laughed at you. But I don't think that she would do anything more than just yell at us and get mad. She wouldn't be able to do much more than that. Wanna bet? Piccolo smiles as he shakes his head. He seems to be laughing and he says, no, I don't want to bet. I don't think it would be worth it to find out what 18 would do if she found out that we laughed at you. What about y'all two? Y'all two want to bet? Piccolo laughs as he says, you know what? Well, I guess we will bet. What would you want to bet on? What would you like to bet on? Do you want to bet that 18 would get really mad at us? I bet 18 will lay all three of y'all out like Yamcha. Piccolo laughs even harder as he says, okay, let's do it. I bet that 18 would get really mad at us and won't do nothing, but she wouldn't be able to do anything more than that. So the three of us will bet $3 each on this bet. You're on? Deal! Piccolo nods and he smiles. He says, okay, the deal is sealed. We have a bet, $3 each on this bet. And now we have to just wait and see what happens. Let's just hope that 18 doesn't find out about our bet and get really mad. Legend then took a deep breath as he screamed at the top of his lungs. 18! Piccolo, Celery, and Mr. Popo all laughed at me for being a virgin after death. 18, Piccolo, Celery, and Mr. Popo all froze. 18 froze from hearing the comment that was screamed at the top of the boy's lungs. Piccolo and the others began to laugh some more. They all had surprised and speechless expressions on their face. They were all in disbelief that he really screamed that at the top of his lungs, and they began to laugh. 18 came rocketing down and landed with a boom. They did what? 18 landed with a loud boom, and she was furious. She was clearly very upset and angry, and she was not happy to hear that the three of them had laughed at him for being a virgin after death. She was staring at the three of them with a look of rage and anger, and she seemed like she wanted to get some revenge. Legend pretended to cry. 18, those three laughed at me for being a virgin. He then gave her the puppy dog eyes. 18's expression softened a bit when she sees him crying, and she began to feel bad for him. She's still very angry and furious, but she also was feeling sympathetic towards Legend. She looked at the three of them and she says, "Is this true? Did you all laugh at him for being a virgin after death?" The three of them were visibly shaking. Yes. 18's expression darkened a bit, and she was clearly still angry and furious. She was also starting to feel more sympathetic towards Legend, and she was starting to feel more protective of him. She turned her attention back to Legend and she says, "Do you really have a problem with being a virgin after death?" Legend nodded as he hid behind Android 18. 18 stared at Legend, and she smiled a little bit. She seems like she wants to protect Legend, and she wants to make sure that he was okay. She was still angry and furious at the three of them for laughing at Legend, but she was also feeling protective of Legend. She looks at them and says, "I will not allow you to make fun of him for being a virgin after death. He is my friend, and I will not tolerate anyone hurting him." Celery tries to hide her chuckle, but she fails. 18 hears Celery chuckle, and she turns her attention to it. She is not amused by her chuckle, and she seems angry that she is not taking this seriously. "What's so funny about this?" "Beat them up, 18. They obviously don't respect me after I put my life on the line and died." 18's expression darkens a little bit, and she looks at them with anger and rage. She is starting to feel protective of Legend, and she is not going to let them get away with making fun of Legend. She nods and says, "I will take care of this for you. I will not allow them to disrespect you or make fun of you anymore." 30 seconds later, all three of them were laid out on the ground like Yamcha. 18 lays them out like Yamcha. She beats them all up real good, shows no mercy, and she is really furious and angry. She is not going to let them get away with making fun of Legend. She is also really protective of Legend, and she wants to make sure that Legend is okay. She doesn't say anything else, but her expression is very angry and hostile. She just stares at them for a few seconds, then she starts to walk away. Legend waits till 18 is out of earshot before speaking. Be lucky she didn't give you the Vegeta treatment. He's still holding his arm to this day. Now where's my $3? Piccolo, Mr. Popo, and Celery are laying on the ground, bruised and beaten up. They are all in a lot of pain, but they are all still conscious and alive. Piccolo tries to sit up, but he says, "Here you go," handing over the $3. Not gonna lie, it kinda hurts being friend zoned, Legend said with a sigh. Piccolo nods as he says, "Yeah, I can imagine how you feel. But don't worry, you'll find someone eventually. You're a good guy, and I'm sure there's someone out there who will appreciate you and love you for who you are." I guess. Piccolo smiles. Don't worry about it too much. Just focus on yourself and on being the best person that you can be. The right person will come eventually. If you say so. Piccolo nods and says, "Just take my word for it. Just trust me. The right person will come along eventually. You're a good person. You deserve to be happy and find someone who loves and appreciates you." Not gonna lie, I'm hungry. Piccolo nods and says, "Well, we should probably get something to eat. Are you filling up to walking? We could go to the kitchen and see if there is anything to eat." Piccolo, I thought you survived off the water. Piccolo smiles. Yeah, I do, but I still need some kind of nutrition in my diet. Otherwise, my body wouldn't be able to function properly. And I'm guessing you're hungry too, right? Hell yeah! Celery, Popo, you coming? Celery nods and says, "Sure, I'm hungry as well. Let's go to the kitchen and find something that we can eat." Alright, who's cooking? Piccolo laughs as he offers to cook, saying that he could make something good, even though he's not the best cook. Never mind. I think I'll just go back to Bulma's house and have her cook for me. Piccolo laughs. Yeah, Bulma is pretty good at cooking. I'm sure she'll make something delicious for you. Just make sure you don't forget about us. I'll have her make you a cup of ice and that's it. Piccolo laughs as he says, "That's fair enough. A cup of ice sounds pretty good right about now. I'm sure Bulma will make it for me without any problem." Alright then, let's go. All four of them then flew off. The four of them flew off going to Bulma's house. As they landed in front of her house, she was standing outside and she sees all of them flying in. She looks surprised to see all of them, and she's curious about what happened. But guys, that is the end of this. To be honest, I literally wrote this in the beginning as literally just a huge troll. So yeah, if you guys liked it, then you liked it. But I'm telling you right now, I wrote this as a troll. But I decided, you know what, let me at least give them the opportunity to experience what me not taking writing seriously is like. But yeah, if you like the video, make sure you hit the like button, subscribe while you're at it. I'm not gonna lie, this is probably the longest video I've ever done. So yeah, and like I said in the beginning of the video, I'm not even feeling that good, but at the same time, I still have to sound charismatic and all that. So yeah, I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.